Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Vivek. I'm working as assistant professor in Mlritm College, Hyderabad. Today, we are going to discuss about Java control statements. So, what are these control statements in the first place? As the name itself suggests, it's control. So, how we are going to control the flow of execution of statements? As we have discussed in the previous object-oriented paradigm, this paradigm was introduced to solve the real-world problems by taking the real-world entities as objects and writing the programming around the objects. As we all know, in real world, nothing is in a linear format. Every time we have to make a decision, we have to take a branch or something like that, it happens. So how do we accumulate that in a programming language? That is what the control statements are. Every time, as I have said earlier, nothing will be linear in the real world. Okay, not one by one or in a straight line it will be there. We have to always make some decisions, take some branch, etc., like that. So for that we are having this control statements. A programming language uses control statements to cause the flow of execution to advance and branch. Branch means we are having more than two or three options, then we can select either one of them based on changes on the state of the program. Based on the input or the function we are using, we might have to change that. So Java program control statements are put into three categories. They are, first one is the selection, where we are going to select. Next, the iteration, or the other name we call it as loops. And the next we have the jump statements. So let us see them one by one. Now, selection statements allows your program to choose different paths of execution based on the outcome of an expression or the state of the variable. Next, iteration statements enable program execution to repeat one or more statements. When a condition satisfies, we have to repeat it. Next, the jump statements allow program to execute in a non-linear fashion. Sometimes we might have to follow a non-linear fashion where we have to jump from one point to another point without considering all the iterations, etc., in the middle. And that time we are going to use the jump statements. So, first, let us look at this selection statements. Java supports two selection statements, if and switch. These are the two selection statements we are having, and furthermore there are many categories within the if also. We will see one by one. These statements allow you to control the flow of programs execution based upon the conditions known only during runtime. That is when we are executing. Okay, runtime means when we are executing. Now, the if statement in Java's conditional branch statement, it can be used to route program execution through two different paths. For example, let us say we are flipping a coin. What is the possibility of getting an outcome? It is only either heads or tails, but not both. So we are using in such condition to depict the future, we are going to use this if statement. If Boolean expression. Boolean expression. What will be the output of a Boolean expression? Either true or false. So in the if case, if the Boolean expression is true, the statement is going to be executed. Otherwise, not. Let us see that with an example. So public class test we are taking here a main class as text, and here public static void main string asks int x is equal to 10. We are assigning a value of 10 to x. If x is less than 20, so this is our condition. So what is that condition? X less than 20, and we have assigned the value x is equal to 20, so the output is true. So this statement is executed. This is if statement is executed, and we are getting the output as this is if statement. So this is our if condition. Next condition, we are having if else statements. Okay, this is just, as I have told earlier, if condition happens only when it is true, and else happens if it is false. The Boolean expression is false. And any statement followed by an optional else statement. Else statement is always optional because we are having either of the outputs as our output, which executes when the Boolean expression is false. So following is the syntax. We have if Boolean expression executes when Boolean expression is true, else Boolean expression when the Boolean expression is false. So these are the conditions. This is the syntax of our if and else statement. So let us again see this with an example so we can understand easily. So public class test, we are taking a class as our test, public static void main. So int x is equal to 30. So we have assigned a value of 30 to x. Okay, so now if x is less than 20, this is our expression. And what is the value of this expression? Boolean value. If x is less than 20, it is true. And if x is greater than 20, it is false. So here we have taken x less than 20 and x value is assigned as 30. So what's the statement is? The statement is greater than 20. So it is false. The output is false. So what will be the output we are going to get? We are going to get this is else statement as the outputs. So this is how the if and else works. Next, we can have multiple if and else statements in a program. As we have discussed earlier, the if condition, the Boolean expression is executed at the runtime. So at runtime, when we are giving n number of outputs, we can have n number of if and else conditions. Every time we have to branch and go to different way, then we can take the multiple if else or multiple ifs. We call them as nested ifs. Okay. So if the syntax if and if else statement, Boolean expression 1 executes when Boolean expression 1 is true. Boolean expression 2 when it is true. If Boolean expression 3, then it is true. So all these ifs, if doesn't matter, then it goes to the else. Okay. So we are having more than one conditions, if conditions, and if 3 conditions fail, then it goes to the else statement. Okay. For example, finding the largest of 3 numbers. Okay. So first condition, first 2 numbers, which one is greater, next 2 numbers and next 2 numbers, and if the given input is not there in the 3 numbers, then we go for the else statement. Okay, so this is our if else if statement. So let us see here, public static void main x is equal to 30, the value we have assigned is x is equal to 30. If x equal to 10, one condition. Okay, x equal to 20, another condition. X equal to 30, another condition. Here first we are going to check the first if. No, it is false. Second condition, it is false. And the third condition, we got it as true. Okay, so the output will be the value of x is 30. And for example, if we have taken some x is equal to 50, then what is the statement will be? This is false, and this will also be false. So we are getting this as our output. What is that? This is else statement will be our output. So this is the difference between if and else if. So nested if statements in Java, same here, Boolean expression 1, Boolean expression 2, we are having multiple ifs. Same example we are having x equal to 30 and if x y equal to 10. So here we are taking 2 variables x and y and we have to print the output only when 2 are same. Then we have the nested ifs. That means if inside an if. Here if you take the previous one, we are having multiple if statements independent of each other. Okay, every if is present only in the main class, but nested if means one if is present inside the another if. Okay, so we are having a nested and within the if statement. So first if we are having x equal to 30 and provided the condition is y is equal to 30, then we are going to get the output. So this is our nested if statement. So these are the if else if else branching, and next we have the nested if. These are our if statements supported by Java. So next is the switch statement. So this is also one of the important statements which is satisfying the object oriented paradigm. Okay, so what is this? So we might be having a multiple cases where we have to select one. For example, you are going to book a ticket for a movie. Okay, and the theater, we are having more than 3 classes. Let us say the bench, the seat and the recliner, like that. Okay, so which you want to select? You have to select only one. You can book only one at a time, one category at a time. So it has to jump from that case. Case A, you are having let us say ground. Okay, case B, you are having balcony. Okay, and case C, you are having the recliners. Okay, so from these 3 things, if you want to book a ticket, what happens? You can select only one category, and after that it is going to jump to the next. What will be the next? Either paying the money or booking the ticket or something like that. Okay, so for such cases we are having our switch case. Okay, so switch expression, case 1 value, case 2 value, case value n up to will be there, and there is something called default at the last. Okay, let us see what this is. The switch statement is Java's multi-way branch statement. Multi-way. So we are having more than two outputs. In if and else, we are having two outputs, either if true or false. Here, any one of them can be true or all of them can be true. So it might not be any false statement. In such conditions, we'll be using the switch statement. Okay. So it provides an easy way to dispatch execution to different parts of your code based on the value of the expression. So we are going to different parts of our code based on the value of the expression. Okay. So here switch expression will be there, means what is the condition. Okay. So after that condition, we are going to present case 2, case 3 and the default. And another important thing we have to notice here is after every case, we are having something called break. If you can see here, after everything, you have something called break. Break after every case. Okay, so what is this break? That is a jump statement which we are going to discuss further in the class. Okay, so for now you have to assume that it is going to break the case here. Okay, now classic example of a switch we are having here, class sample switch public static void main. In this we are declaring a string. So here is our expression. So what is the expression? For int I is equal to 0, I less than 6, I plus plus. That is our expression. In that we are taking the expression as I, switch of I. So what is the value of I in the first stage? First stage it will be I is equal to 0. So I started from 0. What is case 0? I is 0. Then I less than 6, I plus plus. So value is incremented to 1. It is 1. What is 1? I is 1. Okay. Next, in the similar way, we are going up to 3 here. I is 3. Okay. Then here I is less than 6. That means it can be iterated again. So the I value became 4. Do we have any 4 case here? No. We are having only case 0, case 1, case 2 and case 3. So it goes to the default. What is the default? I is greater than 3. And it ends the loop. Okay. It doesn't even consider I is equal to 5 because it has reached the break statement. Okay. So this is how the switch statement works. So these are your selection statements in Java. The next one, we have the iteration statements, or we call them as loops. It's a simple term which we'll be using more, that is loops, for loop. Okay, we will see here while loop, for loop and do while loop are the different loop statements or iteration statements in Java. Java's iteration statements are for, while and do while. These statements can create what we commonly called as loops. So let us see one by one. What is a while loop? The while loop is Java's most fundamental loop statement. So what is while? We are using the while when the condition is true. So we can iterate the value n number of times till it is true, up to it is true. Okay, so it repeats the statement or a block while its controlling expression is true. So how many times the control expression is true, that many values we can print using the while statement. Okay, the general form is while condition and body of the loop, and it terminates within the flower braces. Okay, this is the syntax of the while loop. So everything is based on this condition. Unless and until the condition is false, it goes on repeating the loop. So let us see with an example here. So class while we are taking here public static void main int n is equal to 10. So we have taken value of n is equal to 10. Then while n greater than 0. Okay, so we are taking every value that is greater than 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, up to where we are taking n minus minus. Okay, n value is 10, so it starts from 10, then 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, after that when it is decremented, it goes to 0. Okay, but here what is the condition here? N greater than 0. So 0 is not considered in the output. So what is the output here? Output you are going to get 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. So 10 outputs you are going to get using the while loop. It is going to check the condition here. What is the condition? N greater than 0. So it is going to tick. It is going to print tick. So how many ticks it is going to print? It is going to click tick 10 times. That is 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So 10 ticks will be there for you for the while loop. Next, do while. What is the difference between do while and while loop? Here in while loop, the condition comes first. If you see the syntax here, if you see the syntax of while loop, so you are having something like this. What is that? While condition. So the condition is in the first. Okay. And if you see the do while loop, here do, that means body of the loop will be first. Then in the while loop, we are checking the condition. Okay. So first we are going to do an event, then we are going to check the condition. Okay. So the do while loop always execute its body at least once. Because in the first step, it is going to execute once, then it is going to check the condition. If the first condition itself is false, then it is going to stop the execution. Otherwise, it is going to continue the execution. That means here at least we have to do the activity once. Okay. Each iteration of the do while loop first executes the body of the loop and then evaluates the conditional expression. Okay. If this expression is true, the loop will repeat. Otherwise, the loop terminates. So this is how it is going to work. Okay. So this is your do while loop. If you see the real-time example of this do while loop, you can obviously see the setup box that are set to your home. Okay. So you'll be not subscribing all the channels, you are subscribing some. Okay. So when you start on the setup box, every channel is started first, but once you go through them, it is going to check the condition whether you subscribed or not. If you subscribed, it is going to show you, otherwise it is going to switch to the next one. Okay. So here first the starting of the program is set. Every channel is opened, but it runs only when the condition is true. Okay. So this is one of the real-time example of your do while loop. So example, you can see here public static void main x is equal to 10. So what is the statement body we have written here? System.out.println value of x plus x. System.println slash n, that is just your new line character. After one output, you are going to get a space. Okay. So what is the body we are having here? We are printing the x value and incrementing the x value. So what is the condition here? While x less than 20. Okay. So how many values we are going to get here? We are going to get value of x is 10. We are starting with 10. Then up to less than 20. That means we are going up to 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20. Okay. 20, after 20, when it is incremented to 21, it is going to check the condition which will be false. So you can print up to 20 for do while loop. Okay. So the next and the most important and widely used iteration statement in Java is your for loop. Okay. So why it is widely used means it is having that many uses. Let us see what they are. Okay. Here the general form of the traditional for statement will be for initialization, condition and iteration. So we can initialize, set the condition and iterate in a single statement. Instead of writing a whole body, you can iterate everything in a single statement. So if you see, for example, for I is equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. This is an example of a for statement. Okay. So what we are having here, this is initialization. I is equal to 0. That means we are setting the initial value of I. Next, I less than 10. This is your condition. What is the condition? The value is less than 10. Then iteration. We are having I plus plus or I minus minus. That is your wish. You can give any of the iteration possible, either incrementing or decrementing. That can be pre-incrementing or post-incrementing, pre-decrementing or post-decrement. Anything what we can give the iteration here. Okay. So this is our initialization, this is our condition and this is our iteration. So three things can be given in a single statement. That is your for loop for you. Okay. The loop operates as follows. When the loop starts, the initialization portion of the loop is executed. Okay. The execution starts from initialization. Generally, this is the expression that sets the value of the loop control variable. What is a loop control variable in this example? If you see this, what is a loop control variable here? I is your loop control variable. So we are initializing I, we are setting a condition for I, and we are incrementing I. Okay. So value of the loop control variable, which acts as a counter that controls the loop. Okay. So next, the condition is evaluated. So what is the condition? Again, we have to see here, I is equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. If this is your first statement. So what we are having here, initialization is over. We have given I value instantiated as 0. The next is the condition. What is the condition? I less than 10. And the third one is the iteration, I plus plus. This usually an expression that increments or decrements the loop control variable, which is our I. Okay. The loop then iterates, first evaluating the condition expression, then executing the body of the loop, and then executing the iteration with each pass. Okay. So how it is going to do? So let us see here with an example. Okay. If you see this as an example, so we are having int x is equal to 0. This is 10. Sorry. This is your initialization. X is equal to 10 is your initialization. So first step, it is going to assign value x is equal to 10. In the second step, what it is going to do? It is going to check the condition x less than 20, whether it is true or false. It goes to the third step only when it is true. Okay. So now what is the third step here? It goes to the body of for loop. So it goes to the body of loop. What is the body of loop? Here we are having some value of x. And what is that? We are having first one is 10. Okay. So we are giving a factor here. After this, what is the fourth step? It goes to the increment one. What is that? X is equal to x plus 1, which is equal to 11. So this is the order in which the for loop is executed. First, it goes to the initialization statement, which is x is equal to 20. Then it goes to the condition statement x less than 20 and checks whether the condition is true or false. If it is false, the loop is terminated. And if it is true, it goes to the body. Okay, it doesn't go to the iteration. It goes to the body. It goes to the body and it checks value of x, and whatever be the body we are writing, it is going to execute that. Then it goes back to last, it goes back to the iteration. It is iterated. So this is how the for loop works. So these are your iteration statements. Next, the important one is your jump statements. Okay, so what is this jump statement? Java supports 3 jump. The name itself suggests you. Jump means we are going from one point to another point. Okay. So the statement transfer control to any part of your another part of your program. So one part we are going to another part of the program. Okay. Break statement. First one is you are having break, continue, and return. Okay. So let us see what this break statement is. Okay. The break statement, when executed in a while, for, or do while, or switch, any selection or iteration statement, causes immediate exit from that statement. Okay. Using break, you can immediately exit from that statement and goes to the next line in the control statement. Okay. Execution continues with the first statement after the control statement. So if we are writing a switch loop, after switch, what is the next line is there? It goes there directly. Okay. Common use of break statement are to escape early from a loop or to skip the remainder of a switch. Let us say in the switch statement, we are having 5 cases and whatever you require, it is in the second case. So then you no need to go to the third, fourth and fifth cases. Okay. From second statement, from second case, you can directly jump onto the outside of your switch statement, not outside of the program. Remember this clearly. Okay. We never go outside of a program using the jump statements. We go only outside of the loop, not the program. Okay. Now, let us see an example. So here we are having a class called break test. Okay, we are testing the break. Int count. So we have given a control variable also used for loop terminates. We are giving a count. We are initializing a variable count. So what is that count? Count is equal to 1, count less than 10, count plus plus. So we are using a for statement. Okay, so this is going to loop 10 times. And why? Because we are having count is less than or equal to 10 we have given. So it will be count is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 because it is less than or equal to, not less than. Okay, so we are having 10 times count. Now, if count equals to 5, whenever the count value reaches 5, we are telling it to break. Okay, skip from the loop. Okay, system.out.printf percentile d and count. Now this is broke out of the loop at percentile d. So let us see what is the output. We are getting 1, 2, 3, 4. As usually we are printing these outputs up to 1, 2, 3, 4. Then when we encountered 5, all these things are going to vanish. Okay, broke out the loop at count of 5. Okay, we are not even printing 5. Okay, whenever the count value reaches 5, what we are doing? We are breaking here. That means we are not going to count plus plus. Okay, so if you remember the if state first for loop we have studied just before, let us see the order of execution here. So the order of execution will be something like this. So first it goes to count is equal to 1. Okay, so this is your first step. What is the second step? It checks the condition count less than or equal to 10, which is true. Okay, so here count is equal to 1 and second statement is true. So it goes to the body. So what is the body? Body will be if count equal to 5. Is it equal to 5? No, it is only 1. So what happens? It is going to print percentile d count. So 1 is printed. That is the third step. And what is the fourth step? After 1 is printed, here the loop is ended. For loop is ended. So the count again goes back here. The iteration statement. Count plus plus. So count will be 2 here. Okay, so that is why we got the first output as 1, second output as 2, third output as 4 and fourth output as 4. Okay, so after 4 what happens? It again goes to count plus plus and count becomes 5. Okay, so what happens when the count becomes 5? So again it goes to the body count less than or equal to 10, which is true. It goes to the body if count equal to 5, which is also true. Okay, so it is going to break. So output is broken here. No other output will be there. So what is when we break, where it goes? It goes immediately after the end of the loop. Loop is ended here. What we are having at the end of the loop? Okay, let me make it a bit clear for you. Okay, so what we are having after the end of the for loop? After the end of the for loop, we have another system.out.printf. What is that? Broke out of the loop at percentile d. So we are getting that output. Broke out of that loop at count is equal to 5. So this is how the break statement works. I hope you understand what the break statement is. Next, we are having the continue statement. So this is also one of the important thing which is having really a good advantage. Let us see what that is. The continue statement when executed in a while or do while skips the remaining statements in the loop body and proceeds with the next iteration of the loop. It is not going to come out of the loop. Unlike break, which is coming out of the loop, here continue is used not to come out of the loop but just to skip one iteration. Okay, so let us see how it is going to work, and after that I will give you a real-time example of that. Okay, now here class continue test, we are having count is equal to 1, count less than or equal to 10, count plus plus, same condition we are checking. So what is the order of execution? First it is going to check the initialization condition. What is that? Count is equal to 1. Second, it is going to check the condition. What is that? Count less than or equal to 10, which is true. Okay, satisfied. Then it goes to the body. What is the body? Count equal to 5. It is not true. So it goes to the next condition. What is that? System.out.printf count. So here we are going to print 1. Okay, in that it is going to get again end of the for loop. So after the end of the for loop, what happens? It goes to your again increment value. So what is the fourth step? Count plus plus, which is equal to 2. Okay, again 2 is printed, 3 is printed and 4 is printed. Now let us see what happens when it goes to 5. If count equal to 5, continue. Okay, so what is this? Continue. Skip the remaining code in the loop. Okay, so when it is 5, you have to skip this step. What is this? Printing step. We are going to skip it. That means we are skipping the loop up to the end of the loop. End of the for loop only, not everything. End of the for loop only we are skipping, and we are directly going back to the now. Use it to continue skip printing at 5. That is printed. Then again it goes back. Where it is going back? It is going back to 6. Okay, incrementing value, it goes to the incrementing value, count equal to 6. So again 6 is printed, 7 is printed, 8 is printed, 9 is printed, and 10 is printed. So at the end of the loop, what we are getting? Use it to continue to skip printing of 5. So only 5 is skipped here. Unlike the previous case, here after 4, when it encountered 5, when we give break, everything is stopped. It goes out of the loop. But unlike in the continue statement, we are skipping only 5 and the remaining thing goes on. This is having a very good real-time example. Let us say you own a company where, let us say, some 20 employees are working. Okay, so you have given unique IDs to them, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, that you have given some. Let us say your company is ABC1, ABC2, ABC3, like that you have given some IDs to them. And let us say a person, and every day you are taking attendance by a biometric device or an RFID you are taking, and let us say after some time some ABC 10 or 11 10 has resigned from your post, or you have maybe fired him, or you have resigned, he is not working in your company anymore. Then what happens? We cannot simply get the 11 to become 10, right? Because that is a unique ID. Okay, if you use a break, he can't come and give the attendance. When he gives the biometric or RFID, you cannot allow him to enter your company because he's already resigned. So what you are doing? Simply you are putting a continuous statement here. After that 10 is stopped, then again 11, 12, 13 goes on. Okay, so this is one of the important what we can say statement, control statement, which is used in the real-time applications. Continue is very crucial. Okay, so after that we are having the last control statement in the jump statement, that is your return. Okay, so last control statement is return. Return statement is used to explicitly return from a method. So returning from a method, this is cause the program control to transfer back to the caller of the method. Okay, so this is widely used in recursion. Okay, we will see what recursion is when we are dealing with the methods and functions in the next class. Okay, so demonstrate the return. Class return, public static void main, boolean t is equal to true, system.out.println before the return. If t, return. If it is true, we are going to return. We are returning to the caller. So what? System dot this won't execute. So only the before the return will be printed. It is going back. This statement is not printed because when you use the return, you are again going back to the class return. Okay, so this is one of the important thing again we are be using in the recursion. Okay, so let us see what that is in the time we are learning about recursion. Okay, so this is about the control statements in Java. Thank you. Let us meet in the next class.